This broadcast of Indianapolis Colts preseason football is presented by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Designated driver. And by Taco Bell. Live Moss. Welcome back to Lucas Oil Stadium. You can see the giant window open tonight. Of course, the roof is open as well here at Lucas Oil Stadium as we get ready for the Indianapolis Colts, Cleveland Browns, third preseason game, and the third member of our broadcast crew on the sidelines tonight, Jeffrey Gorman with the Toyota Sideline Report.
Well, thanks, Don. Talking to GM Ryan Grigson before the game, a couple of issues that he wants to look at tonight. The reserve cornerbacks. He's looking at Marche Green as well as Dak Swanson, who have played outstanding in the preseason. On the interior line, looking at Josh Chapman and Braden Franklin for a lot of progress tonight in this third game. Greg Minuski also looking at the inside linebackers. Pat Anger getting back up to speed, and number 54, Mario Harvey, wants to take a long look at him. Look for David Reed, recently acquired in a trade with the Baltimore Ravens, to return some kicks tonight. Don, back to you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. The Indianapolis Colts game ball is delivered by Federal Express. We understand you need a winning game plan. Well, the Colts last week with a huge win. Huge in the sense of what they did in week one, because that was not good against Buffalo. 44-20 they fell. Then last week a rejuvenated effort, 20-12 victory over the New York Giants. Barry, I watched that game in total, and I was impressed with everybody that played for the most part.
I was very impressed with the offense, the execution and being able to move the ball down the field, and the defense stepping up. I mean, 4 times in the red zone. Eli Manning not getting it done, but the defense just stepped up and tightened it down, and that's what they've been able to do. They did it last year, and again this year, keeping them out of the end zone.
There is Kerwin Williams. He'll return the opening kickoff here with Shane Graham doing the honors kicking-wise for Cleveland, the veteran. And here's a low driver that bounces down to the 10, finally picked up at the 1-yard line by Williams. And he finds a little hole on the outside. Kerwin Williams to the 40-yard line before they can force him out. A terrific return by Williams. And the force out was made by Chris Ogbonniyi, fourth-year player out of Texas. And now let's go to the Toyota starting lineups here tonight, presented by your Central Indiana Toyota dealers. Toyota, the official vehicle of the Colts. There you see the offensive line, and then, of course, the backs and receivers. And Vic Ballard getting the started running back tonight. Ahmad Bradshaw still not ready to go here in the preseason, although he's practicing once again. And, of course, Andrew Luck at quarterback. And the handoff to Ballard right away. They try the middle and pick up just a quick 2.
Yeah, that's what this is all about. I mean, they're trying to be physical up front. They want to be able to push this Cleveland Browns defensive line and open up some holes for the running backs.
Kruger on the stop for Cleveland there. There you see the numbers in the preseason on Andrew Luck, who's had a terrific preseason. And you would expect him to get better in year 2, and he has, at least at this point, really been impressive. Andrew goes to the shotgun formation. 4 wide receivers set, 2 on either side. And Luck goes to work. He finds T.Y. Hilton, who has been a star here in the preseason. Leon McFadden makes the stop, but a first down for the Colts.
Cleveland comes with a 4-man rush and really just drops everybody back there man-to-man. And great recognition by Andrew Luck, looking to his left and then looking to his right and seeing T.Y. He's just over there on the flats there. It makes a nice move on the corner and gets upfield and gets the first down.
T.Y. Hilton as impressive as any rookie last year in the National Football League. Had wide receiver and now a running formation. As Andrew Luck at the 49 goes back to throw it, gets pressure and goes down. Got knocked off balance that time. And the man who made the stop was Paul Kruger, the linebacker. Now it's time for the Toyota starting lineups presented by your Central Indiana Toyota dealers. And, of course, again, this is the defensive lineman for the Cleveland Browns. And they've got some outstanding players. A ball club that only won 5 games last year. But, Barry, this is a team that's on the upgrade. And, of course, Coming off the field is Anthony Costanzo, and that's never a good sign when your offensive lineman comes off the field at left tackle.
No, you're looking for some depth in preseason. You're just trying to find those guys to fill in the position, but you don't want to see a starter like Costanzo come off the field like that.
And Joe Wrights is the man who replaces him. And Andrew Luck moves one of his tight ends in motion. Goes back to throw and fires over the middle, and who else but Reggie Wayne comes up with another first down catch at the 38-yard line. McFadden on the coverage.
Wright steps in there for Costanzo, and Lincolnbach stepped in for Mike McGlynn. He's injured too. So here's another look at Reggie Wayne doing a nice job, but nice recognition by Andrew Luck. He knows where his receivers are, and he's on the same page as Reggie Wayne. And Reggie Wayne has been phenomenal. In 2012, he was the go-to guy for this young quarterback, and again, he's there for him.
First down, second one of this drive, first of the game for Indianapolis. And Luck this time on a reverse handoff. And Darius Hayward-Bay finds running room on the right side before he's forced out of bounds on the near far sideline, we should say. DeHaan Gibson is the man who ran him out, but a nice gain on the play.
Yeah, a nice drive going. I mean, they sustained a nice drive, nice action there. Everything goes to the left side, and there's Hayward-Bay coming around, getting the reverse and taking it upfield, and for a big gain. But really, what this offense is doing is really slowing down that pursuit from this Browns defense. They're very aggressive on the point of attack.
Second down and 4. Stacked I formation, and Ballard gets the call, finds the hole on the right side, and Big Ballard. I don't know about anybody else, but in his brief time with the Colts, I have really been impressed with how hard he runs.
When you talk about night and day, I mean, from last year to this year, I mean, I'm telling you, this guy is really finding confidence. Look at Havili, the fullback, does a nice job taking out the corner, and that's all you need as a running back, and he's done a phenomenal job last year leading the Colts with 841 yards and really coming into his own. I think every game he seems to get better and better. He seems to be gaining more confidence, really understanding where he needs to go with the ball, and in case the hole's not there, being able to make that adjustment at the last second.
Reggie Wayne, lone wide receiver to the near side. Here's a pitch back to Ballard, and Vick this time has absolutely no place to go as Cleveland stuffed that run. DeQuell Jackson, an outstanding linebacker out of Maryland, an 8th-year player with the Browns, and he did a great job that time.
You know, it's so interesting to see this Colts offense. I mean, from what we've been, seeing over the years with Peyton Manning, we're really basically pass was number one 70% of the time. This football team wants to run the ball. Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator, wants to run this ball as much as he can.
T.Y. Hilton now in the ball game, wide to the near side. Wayne in the slot to the near side. Andrew Luck out of the gun, and he's going to run with it. Gets caught and goes down at the 20-yard line. So the Colts having a little problem here in the last couple of plays as Billy Wynn comes up and makes a nice stop on the play for Cleveland.
I thought the protection was really well. I mean, he did very good. I mean, he stood up and then he moved up, but that was a coverage sack. Defensive backs for the Cleveland Browns did a really good job at covering those receivers downfield, and really Luck had nowhere to go, but really protection up front did a pretty good job.
Hilton wide right, Darius Hayward-Bay wide left. Ballard in the backfield with Andrew Luck on 3rd and long. And again, Luck running with the football. Tries to turn it upfield, slides to the turf inside the 15-yard line at about the 13. As Buster Screen comes up to make the stop, shy of a first down, and so the Colts will send in Adam Vinatieri.
No, you don't like to see this in preseason where your quarterback he does a nice job, and then he gets forced out of the pocket, and then he basically makes the decision to take the ball down. You got to lay down, and he's usually pretty good about that. When he first came in the league last year, he was, wasn't sliding the way he should have, but he learned really quick. He's got to get down.
Pat McAfee will hold as Adam Vinatieri attempts a 32-yard kick. And as you would expect, Adam Vinatieri knocks it through, and the Colts draw first blood here at Lucas Oil Stadium. First quarter of play, first drive of the ball game, and the Colts put 3 on the board. Back with a kickoff after this. back to Lucas Oil Stadium. There you see the Citizens Energy Group scoring recap of drive number 1 here this afternoon, as the Colts are now leading it 3-0 on a 10-play, 46-yard drive. Stalled at the end because of a couple of really nice plays by Cleveland. That was the Citizens Energy Group scoring recap. Citizens Energy Group, proud to be the Colts' conservation partner. Here is the return by Johnson Bonamosi. And Bonamosi drives all the way across the 20 and then gets right to the 25-yard line before he is knocked down by Josh Gordy, a third-year player out of Central Michigan. We have timeout on the field, and the Colts defense will come up next. Here at Lucas Oil Stadium, there you see the starting lineups brought to you by Toyota for the Cleveland Browns on offense. And there are the backs and receivers, and of course, the quarterback, Brandon Whedon, was special last year as a rookie, and he has had a very good preseason already with this Brown ball club. They were an extremely young football team a year ago, youngest in the league as far as rookies that played. And here's the give to Trent Richardson right up the middle, and Javrell Freeman makes the stop for the Indianapolis Colts after a gain of about 3.
You know, Chuck Pagano really wants to stop the run on the defensive side of the ball, and what a great challenge tonight, really taking on Trent Richardson. He's a phenomenal football player, was injured a lot last year, but been able to come through in this preseason and has really gone into, you know, what he's all about, which is everything. I mean, he can catch the ball out of the backfield, he can run, he's strong, he's powerful, he hits the hole, so good test for the Colts defense.
Brandon Whedon dropping back to throw and dumps it out here in the flat to Richardson. Richardson finds a way to get around one defensive player and then moves all the way to the 40 for a first down.
All right, one of the things you do, rule of thumb, when you're out in the flats like that with a running back like a Trent Richardson that can make some moves, you got to break it down. And I mean, there's nothing, you can't call it any open field tackle like an ugly tackle, because if you can bring him down, you know, you see Walden right there just overran. You've got to break down and really just try to bring him down any way you can.
And they go to an eye, and right up the middle comes Trent Richardson, and he'll pick up 5 yards in the play all the way to the 44 as Angerer comes up and makes the stop.
You know, it's so important that these defensive linemen in this 3-4 defense really get physical at the point of attack.
Toyota starting lineups as you look at the Cleveland defensive unit, or the Colts defensive unit, my apology. There you see LaRon Landry in the backfield for the first time here in the preseason. All 4 of those defensive backs, when they were introduced, came out together. Did not want to come out individually. A sign of solidarity there with the backs. Here is a give to Richardson again, and he's got a hole. And Landry came up from nowhere and knifed in there to make a stop at the knees on Richardson, but he picks up a first down.
Big challenge for the defense is to stay square, get your shoulders square, get in front of that blocker, and that's what, you know, they weren't able to do. You got to get there into the hole. You got to scrape into the hole and make the play, or else Trent Richardson's going to run the ball on you.
And Cleveland has, as young as they are, has really done a good job of moving the football here in the preseason, both on the ground and through the air. Both of their exhibition wins coming in solid fashion. Here's Whedon with a throw, and what a nice hit there on the tight end Chambers as he goes down big time, as Antoine Bethea, always physical, and he showed it there.
That's the way to do it. Over 100 tackles last year. This guy can bring the heat. There's a great job, great recognition, and coming underneath him. If the tight end goes up for the catch, he's got a nice shot at him, brings him down, because he was the check down for Breeden. He was looking down, had a couple other routes, but couldn't find those routes, and was checking down to that tight end.
Jordan Cameron, the tight end, making that catch. 2 wide receivers on the other side, Gordon and Little. Here's the pitch back to Richardson. He gets caught in the backfield. There's a flag down, and he turns it upfield in the nick of time, and he picks up good yardage on the play, but we'll see what the flag's all about as Eric Walton came up and made the stop.
Defensive linemen have to do a better job at going down the line of scrimmage. Everyone has to get involved in this
holding
defense.
Offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
And that's their all-pro tackle, Joe Thomas, who was called for the holding violation.
Yeah, he was on the front side of that play, and that's so critical. He gets out in front. Now watch to your left of your screen. He gets right there. He wraps him up, gets his arms around Mathis and does a good job at doing that, but that is a penalty. I mean, that's pretty obvious. And that was the difference. And a lot of times you go back and it's that one block that makes the difference. And in this case, he was holding to achieve that block.
Obadiah split to the right. Here's Whedon to throw, and he finds him right over the middle. This Obadiah, fourth-year player out of Texas, makes the catch on the play. It was 2nd and 18. Now it's 3rd down and 13.
Colts go with a zone defense, and Pat Angerer just lurking there, doing a good job at about 5 to 7 yards, recognizes the check down, comes up, and makes the tackle. And that's how you run a defense. That's really your zone defense is just recognition. Good look at the head coach.
And he's brand new this year. 6th head coach in the last 15 years for Cleveland. That's an average of 2.5 years per coach. That's part of it, been their problem. But they think that they've got the solution. Here's Cameron, gets hit again after making a nice grab. But a nice stop on the play by Darius Butler, a 5th-year player out of UConn, who was very important to the Colts last season.
Oh, yeah, he led the team in interceptions. He had 4 and 2 in one game against Jacksonville and 1 back for a touchdown. But great job downfield. Colts came with a 3-man rush. They dropped the other 8, and, that's what you do, man, as a defensive back. Let them check it down underneath and come up and make that open field tackle.
Spencer Lanning is back to do the punting here, and it's Nathan Palmer, I guess, is back deep to receive. Nope, I take that back. And the fair catch is made by T.Y. Hilton. So, we have 3-0 on the scoreboard. The Colts in the lead. 3:50 to go here in the first quarter. And we'll be back with the Colts' second possession. Welcome back to Lucas Oil Stadium here in Indianapolis. There you see the Forum Credit Union question of the game. Who are the 2 active NFL players that have 13,000 plus career receiving yards? And we'll give you a chance. Think about it and come up with an answer. As you see, the Colts with a 3-0 lead, their second possession of the ball game. Defense stepping up on that last series for Cleveland and getting him stopped, forcing a punt. And now Andrew Luck and the offense back on the field. And here's Andrew on a rollout. And a nice throw. And the catch made. And the Colts continue to get good play from their receiving core as Darius Hayward-Bay comes up with a reception.
I love the boot play. I mean, this is really getting your quarterback on the perimeter, and he has an option. He can run the ball, or else he's got 2 levels to throw it, and he decides the higher level with Hayward-Bay. He does a nice job at comeback route, but really, I love the boot because it gives your quarterback a lot of different options.
And Andrew Luck with a first down, shy of the 25-yard line. Goes up under center this time and hands it off to Ballard. And Vick tries to find a hole on the left side. Looking to see once again if Costanzo is out there again. It doesn't appear that he is. Phil Taylor came up and made the stop on the play. There you see the numbers on Andrew Luck. The most passing yards by a rookie quarterback in history.
You know, had the first one was Cam Newton. He had 4,000 yards. And this young man is really underrated. A lot of people across the country don't realize how good this young man is. You watch him in practice, he always throws good spirals. He's really intelligent, and he's very, he's a physical specimen at 6'4".
Luck this time, drops back to throw it, gets pressure again, and finds his man Reggie Way, who can't pick up the first down, just shy of it looks like. He reaches out though. Let's see where they spot it.
Good movement by the quarterback. Andrew Luck does a nice job at moving around a little bit, and so does Reggie Wayne. Watch him. He just settles down in that zone area, and a good target for Andrew Luck again, just short of the first down.
Buster Screen had the stop, but not enough for Reggie Wayne, who reaches out for the first down, and it's 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Good spot, I guess, huh?
And no question about that. Hayward-Bay comes to the near side. After I looked at it a second time, though, it looked like Reggie did definitely have it. Hand off to Ballard, and Ballard this time pounds his way inside for about 3 yards as he gets it out near the 38. Stop on the play by Billy Wynn of Cleveland.
I love this new attitude on this offensive side of the ball. Pep Hamilton wants to run the ball. He wants to be known as a running football team. When you look at both of the teams that were in the Super Bowl. I mean, the 49ers ran the ball, and so did the Baltimore Ravens. Very physical with that running game, and he's determined to make that happen again tonight.
Now Luck changes something at the line of scrimmage. Steps back in the shotgun. Hands to Vic Ballard, and Ballard tries to find a hole in the right, picks up just a yard.
Kind of hard when the defense strings that out like that. You see Ballard not running north and south, he's running east and west, and just tries to duck in and try to get anything out of it.
We said we had the Forum Credit Union question of the game. We're the two active NFL players that have 13,000 plus career receiving yards. The answer is, you know, Bear?
Yeah. Reggie Wayne and Tony Gonzalez.
That is correct. That a baby? Question of the game brought to you by Forum Credit Union. Your money, your voice.
Yeah, I played linebacker. I'm smart. I think. I think.
Were you guys credited with that kind of knowledge? Here's the throw to Reggie, and does he make the catch? He cannot quite pull it in. It would have been spectacular had he. Buster Screen had the coverage on the play, but the ball was thrown a little bit wide, a little bit low.
Well, Cleveland came with the blitz. I mean, they brought the heat and got the pressure on quarterback. You know, Luck gets it out there, but almost another one-handed catch, and we've seen him do it. Spectacular football player, and there's no question, Hall of Fame material.
Pat McAfee will punt it away. Travis Benjamin is back deep to receive for Cleveland.
Pat McAfee is into punt. Travis Benjamin, the very dangerous, speedy Benjamin, waits on the return. This time he'll call a fair catch, and the Browns will get the ball at their own 15-yard line for their second possession of the ball game. So the Browns will get it back, trailing 3-0 as Brandon Weeden comes in. Only a couple of seconds now left here in the first quarter. 3 seconds to go. We'll be back. Browns ball when we return, 3-0. Indian Stadium in Indianapolis. Brandon Weeden had the Browns marching on that first drive. They got derailed on a holding penalty and got pushed back and then had to punt. Indianapolis leads 3-0, and the Browns have a long field now. They'll start at their own 15-yard line. Trent Richardson in the game at tailback. That's Obadiah as his fullback into the offset eye. Weeden to the near side, and Greg Little plucks it out of the air, fights out of the tackle, and gets knocked out of bounds. Let's see if they give him forward progress, because if they don't, it's about a gain of about a yard to the 16. He was out by the 20, and then he went back to try and elude a tackler. And one official's going to move it up now near the 19-yard line, maybe. Yeah, they are. They're going to push that up. And that is the end of the first quarter here in Indianapolis. And at the end of one, the Colts lead over the Browns 3-0. Second quarter here at Lucas Oil Stadium. And after one, Indianapolis with 5 first downs, the Browns with 1. Total yards 74-48. Indianapolis has that long drive that got them the field goal. The Browns had one drive and now are on their second drive. And they double up on time of possession. Ball is out at the 19-yard line, the Browns' own 19-yard line, second down and 6. Weeden is 5 for 5 so far throwing the ball in the game, but it's really been a lot of short stuff. Nothing with any length to it.
Yeah, a lot of zone coverage, and again, we mentioned in the first drive, if you hold that zone coverage with the protection being solid just a little longer, you have time to let things develop.
Richardson gets hit at the 20, spun around, and then team tackle by the Colts. They drag him down. Nice play coming out of the secondary. First guy up to make the hit was Vontae Davis, the corner out of Illinois, traded from the Dolphins to Indy right before the start of last season.
This is sometimes why you're a great running back sometimes get hurt or have a short shelf life. First guy doesn't bring him down, he stays up, and then 6 guys kill him.
But Thay was the first guy up, and then Vontae Davis cleaned it up. Third down now coming up for the Browns. Third down, they need about 6. Josh Cooper.
Now you got a nice chance. Press man coverage outside.
Here's Weeden looking, delivering, and it's caught. They pull it away. Down the sideline, banging through is Greg Little. He's got the catch out to the 40-yard line into the Browns sideline, and the Browns get a big first down. He didn't have it when he caught it, but then he got away from LaRon Landry and got knocked out of bounds.
Again, LaRon Landry, like like Darius Hayward-Bay looking for a second chance here on his career. What a beautiful, accurate throw. Not very open, tight coverage.
14-yard gain and a first down out to the 35-yard line.
That's beautiful timing and placement with the ball.
Wheaton 6 for 6 and back again and looking for more. And he fires for Gordon, who got wrapped up with Vontae Davis deep in the secondary. Davis pointing at Gordon and saying he interfered with me. No flag thrown, incomplete. First one of the night for Wheaton, and it's 2nd and 10.
Look at the timing here. He steps, he gets hit as he throws. Stands in there nicely. Real nicely.
The hit by linebacker Eric Walden coming over from Green Bay in the offseason. 2nd down and 10 from the Browns' 35-yard line. On 2nd and 10, Richardson trying to find a hole, stuffed up there, and he'll get maybe 2 out to the 37. On the tackle first, Corey Rennie.
Back to that first down play, that Josh Gordon, and Vontae Davis kind of bumping into each other 15, 18 yards downfield. Technically, per the rules, defensive backs aren't allowed to do that. That being said, it does happen quite a bit, and it shows you how imperative the timing is. Brandon Wheaton drops back on his 5 steps. He doesn't have much time. He has to let it go. He throws it on time to the spot where Josh Gordon needs to be because of a little bit of the contact. Josh Gordon doesn't get exactly there on time.
Pressure coming. Wheaton fires. Jordan Cameron cannot come up with it. Incomplete. Is getting over there to make the play is Greg Toller, new quarterback for the Colts this year, and the Browns will go off the field. They can't convert on 3rd and long.
At the blitz, he knows man coverage. Jordan Cameron kind of rounds his route, not really open, but Brandon doesn't have much time. He picks a guy, throws it. He actually throws it to the best possible place to where either Jordan catches it or not, but not the defensive back. You don't want to make a mistake and get a ball under cover. That ends up being a pick 6.
Kind of a short punt here by Spencer Lanning, and it gets a crazy bounce back across the field, and the Browns finally grab it at the 34-yard line as it is grabbed down there, and the Browns now will come out defensively. Down there making the touch, Jamor Slaughter, the rookie from Notre Dame, getting his first action after having an Achilles tendon injury early last year for Notre Dame. 29-yard punt by Lanning. 3-0 Indianapolis. Brown sideline right now, brought to you by Dodge, and check in with Dave Chanowski. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Jim, I've really been paying attention to that offensive line. Of course, we know what's going on over at right guard. Brandon Wheaton spent a lot of time with Alex Mack on the sideline. A lot of conversation going on the sideline. So far, a bit of a struggle for the offensive line here. Not a lot of deep pressure, and not a lot of deep passes, and a lot of pressure. Back to you.
All right, wide open. Darius Hayward-Bay on the catch from Andrew Luck. Buster screen comes down the field with help from Craig Robertson, but not before he gets a first down out over the 45-yard line to the 47. Gain on the play of 13, Bernie.
I kind of get a little chuckle there with Dave in the sideline report. He's right from the Browns' perspective, but it's amazing to me what side of perspective you really are. I think Andrew Luck would argue that he's had less pressure or less protection and more pressure by the Browns front four today. Both offensive lines have not done their best, but the Browns have actually done better from a protection standpoint than the Colts to this point.
On first down, Luck play action down the middle. Reggie Wayne's wide open at the 40. DeQuell Jackson finally brings him down near the Browns' 39-yard line, and Luck has come out firing on this possession by the Colts. He gets 14 more.
Well, just as we talk about protection and a lack of it for the Colts, this is perfectly blocked. Plenty of time, zone coverage. Andrew Luck to Reggie Wayne, perfect job of finding the pocket, finding the hole. Reggie Wayne settles in it. That's as well done as you could do.
First down, Stanley Havili, the fullback, comes in motion, and on first down, this is Donald Brown. Brown off the left side. The Browns get him down at the 37-yard line after a 2-yard gain. Dragging him down on the play. Billy Wynn is in there for the Browns. Also getting up off the pile, Phil Taylor. And it will be 2nd down and 8. Brown ends up without his helmet. Out of the University of Connecticut.
Well, the Colts spent a first-round pick on him a few years ago, and it's kind of make-or-break time for him. He's not been poor, but he hasn't probably lived up to being a #1 pick.
One of their draft choices, Hugh Thornton, is now in at guard. Play action fake. Here's Luck up in the pocket, away from a sack, and a wide open field and a slide. Down to the 31-yard line, 2 yards shy. of a first down. The Browns had good pressure. Quentin Groves is in there off the right corner, but they couldn't put him away.
Andrew Luck on the play action pass. Not even looking, but feels the pressure from Quentin Groves on his blind side.
So it's going to be third down for Indianapolis. Third down and 2 as Luck has learned the value of slotting. Third down, short drop. He's got a man wide open. Reggie Wayne uncovered. Down to the 20, down to the 15, and Buster Screen spins him into the sideline. Actually, Wayne stepped out at the 16-yard line and a first down. How the heck did that happen? He was uncovered.
Yeah, you see the first time Colts been this bunch of linemen. Everybody's in your screen right there. Breaking out, just blown the coverage there on a quick count. So that's by design, something they probably haven't done yet. Browns hadn't been prepared for it. End up with an easy first down play.
15 yards first down to the Cleveland 16-yard line. Luck shotgun. T.Y. Hilton in motion. First down. Here's Andrew Luck. Looked right. Now runs left. Being chased by Ishmaeli Kitchen, and he goes down at the 10-yard line. He'll get 6. That's where he really hurt the Browns in the game here during the regular season last year, and in particular down right in this red zone that he knows that he can take off and go with it.
Yeah, he does a nice job. I have a feeling if you're Mr. Irsay, the Colts owner, or the front office of the Indy Colts, you don't want to see him make a living on this in the preseason.
Second down, 4. They're at the Browns 10, and they lead 3-0. Second quarter.
Have any DB in the middle of the field.
Luck looking, firing. Darius Hayward back caught it, and he's inside the 5-yard line. It's going to be first and goal at the 3. Boy, he's having a big first half. Is Darius Hayward Bay?
We were hearing me talk before the snap about middle of the field being open, no defensive back out in the middle. Andrew Luck in the offensive system with Pep Hamilton does a nice job of recognizing it, run the underneath receiver through the middle, through the seam, and replace him with the outside receiver coming across the middle like that. Pretty nice, well-designed play.
First and goal, they're at the 3. Leon McFadden getting a baptism here tonight. The Browns' third-round draft choice out of San Diego State. From the 3-yard line, we have a whistle and timeout called for by the Browns defensively. On first and goal from the Cleveland 3. 8:13 left to go here in the first half. Indianapolis 3-0 and driving for more when we come back. Week, Bernie Boy. The Browns end the preseason against the Chicago Bears next Thursday night at Soldier Field in Chicago. Pre-game show begins at 7:30. We'll kick it off at 8. The Browns and Bears this Thursday night only on Channel 3. When the Browns called that defensive timeout, Bernie noticed there was only 1 second left to go on the play clock.
Yeah, it was interesting. Andrew Luck under center in that formation. They took their time. Didn't look like he was going to call timeout, which would have resulted in a delay of the game penalty.
Here's Luck throwing. Caught right at the goal line. Stanley Havili, the fullback, makes the catch. He's in. Touchdown, Indianapolis.
Again, Andrew Luck and Pep Hamilton's offense, they're masters of different formations to do conceptually the same thing in situations of goal line like that inside the 2-yard line, or like we saw on the previous third down on 3rd and 2 when Reggie Wayne got wide open in the same area of the field.
So Craig Robertson was out there. Havili made the catch right at the goal stripe and just pushed the ball over, and he's in. 9-0 with Vinatieri on for the extra point, and the kick is good, and the Colts lead 10-0.
Those type of plays like that, especially to the back, that in the old days were basically the pick plays, you really need to run the ball pretty solid to make your running backs spring it free, because the inside linebackers are more focused on the running game.
All right, we'll take a timeout from Lucas Oil Stadium. Andrew Luck having his way up by 10. Indianapolis and their touchdown drive, and here's a look at it brought to you by Liberty Ford. A new Ford brings a new adventure, and Liberty makes it happen. How about this? They went 66 yards on the drive. Between throwing the football and running it, Andrew Luck was accountable for 64 of the 66 yards. Here comes Johnson Botamosi out of the end zone. Got a block from Obadiah, but he will not get to the 15-yard line as he gets dragged down from behind.
Again, Johnson,
He
bottom
not only came out of the end zone, he came out of his shoe when he came out of the end zone.
Yeah, special team coaches go crazy when the kick returner doesn't follow the blocking scheme. This is not designed to go to the sidelines. You can see, follow your wedge up inside the numbers. They're blocking guys to the outside the numbers there. If you just go off on your own there, I've heard many coaches say you're off on your own.
Well, you're really on your own when you only have one shoe on. 1st and 10 from just shy of their own 15-yard line, and they're down 10-0. Here's Whedon, straight back in the pocket, plenty of time, fires. That's Gordon up in the air, caught it at the 30 for 15 yards and a first down.
First time this preseason we've seen this personnel group. One receiver, multiple tight ends. Definitely that's a run tendency, a run type of personnel group in a run formation. Play action pass. Gets a nice job of settling, throwing, show and run, pretend and run. Offensive line does a nice job and get a nice 18-yard play down the field like that.
1st and 10 now just over their own 30-yard line with Kellen Davis in motion and back into the backfield. Whedon to throw again. Here's Brandon. He's got to roll right. He's got 2 Colts chasing him, and he's going to throw it where it should have been thrown, right into the Browns bench.
That's an exceptional job in the center of the pocket. It's the first 7-man blitz that we've seen today. You've heard me talk a lot through the preseason about guys up the middle. Again, a nose tackle and 2 guys blitzing up the middle. Look at how stout the center of the pocket is there.
Corey Redding was right in Whedon's face. Mitchell Schwartz had a tough time with him. And it is 2nd down and 10 from out near the 31-yard line. 10-0 Indianapolis. Second quarter, 7:19 to halftime.
When you get good in this offense with protection like that, with that many guys rushing, that's plenty of time to take advantage and make a play down the field.
Richardson runs it out to the 34-yard line for 3 yards. Dragged down by Corey Redding, the defensive end. And it will be 3rd down and 7 now for the Browns offensively. Well, they've been in 3rd and long a lot, haven't they? 3rd down and long here in the first half.
Yeah, both teams have had quite a few 3rd down situations. And again, I think the Colts may also be playing some, thinking of their first game September 8th where the Oakland Raiders come into town. They start to do things on tape that kind of give the other team in the first regular season game something to look at.
So on 3rd down and 7, here's Whedon. He is throwing. It is caught, and Greg Little's got a first down. He fumbled the ball, and it came out, and the Colts have it out at the 50-yard line. Little is ruling that he was down. There's a late flag thrown in there, too, as Mitchell Schwartz came in and was pounded away. So the ball came out after Greg Little had it taken away. Greg Toller was on it, but then the flag came in late. Little was claiming that he was already down. The Colts are pointing that the penalty is going to go against the Browns.
After the turnover,
And it is a turnover.
personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 72
And that's Schwartz.
of the Browns. This 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. First down.
Well, Greg Little, and we'll probably get a look at it right here. Let's watch and see. He makes the catch. He's got a first down, too. And then Toller
He may
ripped
be
the
down.
ball out.
That left elbow may have hit the ground before the ball was knocked out.
And I think we'll take a timeout. I think the Browns are going to challenge that call. We'll take a timeout. 6:25 to go in the half. And the Browns down by a score of 10-0. Look at the play once again. Greg Little catches right here, Bernie. Greg Toller will come in and rips the ball out. Now you're wondering if Little's elbow was down. And Indianapolis will get the ball, plus the 15 yards added on when Mitchell Schwartz for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And the Colts up by 10 go right back to work. Here's Luck looking down the far sideline, and Joe Hayden was doing a great battle with T.Y. Hilton, and it's incomplete down by the Browns' 5-yard line. That is a shutdown play right there by Hayden.
Yeah, T.Y. Hilton, young quick receiver, actually for Florida International, FIU down in Dade County. Trying to fool the future All-Pro Joe Hayden. Does not work. Great job of coverage.
So it's 2nd and 10 at the 35-yard line. Luck will go with an empty backfield.
A press coverage across the board. linebacker on a back up to the top of your screen.
Luck fires right across the middle, and Leon McFadden gets in there and knocks the ball away. Good play by the rookie, as they've been picking on him a little bit, and they had Reggie Wayne on him, and McFadden goes in and he wins that one. So it's 3rd down and 10.
Real favorable matchup for Andrew Luck and the Colts. Have a running back manned up on the pressed linebacker to the outside, and the rookie in the slot matched up on Reggie Wayne. Excellent job of coverage by McFadden.
3rd and 10 now. Ballard is in the backfield with Andrew Luck. Luck up in the pocket, throws Reggie Wayne, got away from Buster Swain, who comes back and makes the tackle, and he makes the tackle up right at the first down marker, which is the 25-yard line. He is very close to having it. Rob Chudzinski right up at that mark, saying he should have been marked back a little bit, but it's going to be a first down.
Yeah, 2 deep, 5 under man. Reggie Wayne redeems himself. The principle for the slot underneath defensive backs. They have coverage and help outside. They're not supposed to let the receiver easily get inside like that. Reggie Wayne gets across Buster Scream's face and outruns him to the sideline to execute the first down.
1st and 10 on a big 3rd down conversion at the Browns' 25-yard line. The Browns down by 10, and Indianapolis driving again. Here's Ballard straight up the middle. Phil Taylor's got him down low and yanks him down to the ground at the 23 after a 2-yard gain. Ruben is in there too. Well, you know, I know a lot of people want them to run, you know, and run more, but they are awfully good throwing it, aren't they? I mean, it's appetizing for them to just throw the ball and really let him run a little bit.
Yeah.
And I know that's dangerous to let the quarterback run.
Yes, on top of that, they also throw it so well, like you point out, and they run it so poorly that it makes it hard to stay with the run.
2nd down and 8. They're inside the Browns' 25 at the 23-yard line. This is set up after the Browns fumbled out at midfield after Greg Little made a catch and had it stripped away. Here's Luck shuffling his feet, throwing underneath. Buster Screen gets in there and rips the ball away and knocked it away from Reggie Wayne at the 21-yard line. So Screen gets in there and fights that one off from Reggie Wayne, and it will be 3rd and 8.
Nice job by Buster knocking it away.
3rd down and 8 at the Browns' 23-yard line.
Colts really, after a couple generations here, really going to get spoiled with phenomenal quarterback play between Peyton and Andrew Luck.
See what Luck does here, and if the Browns can get any pressure on him. Luck steps, throwing up in the air, and it is caught down inside the 10-yard line at the 8. He is on target again, and again it's Reggie Wayne. There's a flag down on the field back at the 6-yard line. DeQuell Jackson was in there in the middle of that play. And we'll wait on the call as Luck delivered a BB over the middle to Reggie Wayne.
For a headshot on Reggie Wayne? That's just an old core play that been playing and running for generations, throwing a double square in.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, contact to the helmet of the receiver. This penalty will be assessed half the distance to the goal. First down.
So it will go from the 7.5 down inside the 5 to the 4. And here's the play. Reggie Wayne, watch him go up in the air right there on the rookie McFadden.
Well,
what do you think?
It's a fantastic conceived play. You saw T.Y. Hilton take the underneath coverage. Nice job of Wayne finding it. He's falling down there. I just don't see that as a penalty.
And the Browns blitz, and they run into the blitz, and Ballard will lose a yard or two back to the 5-yard line.
I mean, I'm an offensive player, and I know sometimes my objectivity may not be there with it, but right there, I'm not sure what you expect the defensive guys to do. Reggie Wayne makes a nice job of catching. It's a high throw. He ends up falling to the ground. As he's almost to the ground, defensive guys trying to make the tackle.
2nd and goal. That was a big hit by Ruben and Phil Taylor. DeQuell Jackson had blown through there too. Double backs in the backfield. Havili the fullback. Running back is Ballard from the Browns 5. 2nd down and goal. Here's Luck bootleg. He's got a man at his face and he throws. It's deflected and intercepted in the corner. Deshaun Gibson got it. But what a play by Paul Kruger. He really blew the play up when he got in Luck's face, forced the ball, it deflected, and went into the hands of Deshaun Gibson, just named as a starter at safety this week. Timeout as the Browns get a reprieve defensively as they stifle an Indianapolis drive. 3:41 left to go before halftime. 10-0 Colts. Browns highlight here in the first half because it's really been all Colts, and Deshaun Gibson gives it to us. But look at Kruger get in the face of Luck there, Bernie.
Yeah, that's probably in a regular season game from the Indianapolis perspective, not the guy you want to try to fool on a bootleg like that. Paul Kruger does a phenomenal job of putting pressure, not baiting on the play action fake.
All right, Trent Richardson bangs it out to the 4-yard line, a gain of 2. He had nothing, but you notice he got his pads down low there, and he kept driving, and he stayed semi-upright, and then got at least 2 yards out to the 4-yard line, and it will be 2nd down and 8 for the Browns. They have had woeful field position in this game, other than on the first kickoff that Johnson Bonamosi brought them out over the 20. They have been inside their 10. Their average is the 14-yard line. And, of course, after the interception, which they will take, they inherit bad field position again. 2nd and 8 in his own end zone. Whedon with time and throws, and it's incomplete. Out at the 25-yard line, Jordan Cameron, and there was a lot of traffic around that play as LaRon Landry was there.
Same play we saw Whedon and Jordan Cameron hook up on last week. Colts aren't full. Look at the placement, though. I mean, it's well covered, but the placement on Brandon's throw.
You know what I noticed there? Look at Robert Mathis in a deep drop that far down the field, and it's 3rd and 8. The Browns are at their own 4-yard line. Obadiah will be in the backfield with Whedon to help out. 10-0 Indianapolis. 2:57 to go in the half. Shotgun from out of his end zone. Whedon rolls right, looking for a white jersey. Fires, looking for Little, off his left hand, too high, incomplete, out at the 22-yard line, and now Spencer Lanning is going to be parked deep in his own end zone to pump this out of trouble.
Yep. You would see Brandon got flushed to the right there to the top of the screen. Also to the top of the screen, Jordan Cameron was coming from the right side, top of the screen, down to the left side. Really doesn't have many options this way, so basically throws it out of bounds.
Here's Lanning. 9 yards out of his own end zone. Bangs it down the field. Good punt. Way back. Kerwin Williams, the rookie, makes the catch at the 30, and the Browns get down there, and they got him over the 35-yard line. Well covered. Great punt by Lanning of 65 yards. Boy, he uncorked a beauty. And Owen Marisic, the fullback out of Stanford, is down there to make the tackle. You know, sometimes you can outkick your coverage, right? That's what happened in the Rams game. The Rams punter outkicked his coverage, and Travis Benjamin hit that 91-yard return, but not in that punt right there.
Yeah, to make that type of punt, see that type of coverage down there, and shut it down and net out almost a 60-yard net punt is fantastic.
From their own 38-yard line with Donald Brown in the backfield, and he'll get the carry. Phil Taylor slides over through a pile and makes the play with Jaquel Jackson out at the 42-yard line. Gain of 4. 2nd down at 6. 2:25 to go in the half.
Colts starting their 2-minute drill.
And no huddle.
They have plenty of time. Surprised they're not really letting it run down to the 2-minute warning.
2nd down. Luck fires. That's caught. Dominique Jackson makes the catch, and he brings it down to the 45-yard line. Dominique Jones, rather, makes the catch, and he brings it down to the 45-yard line, and that's a 1st down. Now, they are without their 2 tight ends, Dwayne Allen and Kobe Fleener tonight, so they only have 2 tight ends remaining on the roster to come into tonight's game. And Jones makes a nice play there. 2-minute warning, and we'll be back. Colts lead over the Browns, 10-0. Back here in Indianapolis, and the Browns trail 10-0, but the Indians are faring better, and that's important for them right now at this stage. They lead over the Twins 4-1. Jason Kempnis, Carlos Santana, home runs in the game. For each one, they're 16th, and the Indians lead in the bottom of the 4th. 10-0 here, 2 minutes to go in the half. Indianapolis with a 1st down at the Browns' 45-yard line, and they have all of their timeouts left. Here's Luck. Late pressure, and a pretty good break up by Buster Screen. Screen gets in and over the shoulder, and no flag thrown as Reggie Wayne looks to the sideline to see if a flag would come out. No flag. Good coverage by Screen. Second down.
Yeah, excellent coverage by Buster again. Cleveland defense disguising coverage to make it look like it appear to be man coverage, one-on-one outside. They roll into a 2 deep 500 man. Andrew Luck goes to the right receiver, but excellent coverage. Doesn't do a good job of getting separation in order to make the completion an easy one. Buster Screen, good coverage again.
Second down 10. Here's Luck, pressure coming late. He delivers the ball over the middle, high, and almost intercepted again by Tashawn Gibson. Rubin was in there. Ward was in there. Quentin Groves was in there.
Well, here's for all young quarterbacks out there, and I'm a huge Andrew Luck fan, but this is the ramifications of when you miss the blitz off the corner, don't see it. You take a big hit like that, impending pain.
1:53 left to go in the half. Third down and 10 at the Browns 45-yard line. The always moving Ataba Rubin in on Andrew Luck on that play. Now Donald Brown, the running back, comes back into the shotgun with Luck on 3rd and 10. Late pressure, dumps it off, juggled and dropped by Brown. The Browns are going to scoop it up anyway. That's DeQuell Jackson running with it, but it's incomplete. And it will be 4th down, and the Browns will get the ball back.
A nice little formational shift right there by Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator, and Andrew Luck. They put the running back outside before he got to that point. Linebacker walks out on him, shows it's going to be man coverage. When he runs back into his regular position, linebacker comes back, shows him it's going to be man coverage by a simple shift of that by pre-snap shifting.
Pat McAfee with the punt. Benjamin runs up, and the ball hits way over on the far left corner and bounds into the end zone, and the Browns will get it on a touchback out to the 20-yard line with 1:39 left to go in the half, and they have 2 timeouts left. And it's been kind of a frustrating, flat first half. I mean, they've been in 3rd and long, they've been parked in bad field position, and they haven't really been able to really open it up except for their first drive of the game, which then got stalled when they got a penalty.
Well, all that being said, coupled with it's 10-0, 3rd preseason game, last chance that Brandon Wheaton's going to have this preseason to do a 2-minute drill. Minute 39 on the 20 with 2 timeouts. You're for sure going to see a 2-minute drill here.
So let's watch it from the 20-yard line. Plenty of time and a couple of timeouts. First down. Wheaton, boy, a lot of time, and he throws, and it's incomplete. Way over the head of Greg Little, over at the 32-yard line. And it will be 2nd down at 10 with 1:34 remaining.
The Colts had a kick rotation coverage to the bottom of the screen to Brandon's left. You see him looking left, looking into it. Looked like he wanted to go that way. Not saying he's staring down things, but trying to go a little too quick with his stuff. You saw him come off the route, come to a secondary receiver, being covered, he throws it away.
2nd down and 10. Wheaton again, up in the pocket and running to the 20, to the 25. He'll be short of the first down. They say his knee went down at the 25, and it will be 3rd down and 5, and the clock runs with 1:23 left. 3rd and 5 for the Browns from their own 25.
You can see by the Colts line, and Brandon's going to see a nice soft zone.
Looking right, throws, it's tipped, almost intercepted. The linebacker dropped back, got a chunk of it in front of Greg Little, and it's incomplete. So getting in there, Jarrell Freeman got back in his coverage. And it almost was intercepted, almost picked off. Boy, Toller's had a nice first half on that corner, Greg Toller. And the Browns do nothing after they get the ball back, and they go 3 and out.
You know, Brandon got a little pressure in his face, but you see him staring, looking at the receiver probably longer than you want to. When you want to throw those timing routes like that, you want to hit it on your 5th step, but you also don't really want to start looking at that play too early. It's not staring it down too much, but it's close to that, and you see the coverage from the Colts all kind of move in that direction. So if a tip ball like that happens, the nickelback should have probably picked it off. If not, when he deflected it, the corner who was behind him on the tip ball, should have caught it himself. Got very fortunate not to throw an interception there. Go into the into halftime, giving Indianapolis a cheap 6 points.
50-yard punt, nothing on the return. What a swarming coverage by the Browns, led by Justin Cole, the linebacker, and the ball is out now at the 26-yard line. Indianapolis has it, 55 seconds left, with a great kicker in Adam Vinatieri, who can really boom them from long range, and they have 3 timeouts remaining. Here's Luck. They're going to run the ball, and it's Ballard, and he slams it up over the 30-yard line to the 33. Vic Ballard brought down at the 33-yard line. Indianapolis uses a timeout, and they'll have 2 remaining with 49 seconds left to go in the half.
You know, unlike the Browns being down 10-0, minute 39, 2 timeouts Brandon Weeden and Cleveland Browns had for their 2-minute drill. Andrew Luck being up 10-0, 55 seconds to go. You got to expect, if you're the Cleveland defense, almost always the team that's winning like that doesn't have to score when it's less than a minute, tries to do some safe running play, screen play, gimmick play to get a positive first down on the first play of a 2-minute drill. You don't want to give up 9 yards on an easy play, on a kind of a give-up play like that.
Second down and 3. Luck. Pressure again from Kruger, and again from Kruger, but he dumps it off, and he could get the first down, and it looks like he did. Ballard made the catch right by the Indy bench. TJ Ward took him out of bounds, but it's a first down out at the 37. Indianapolis will not have to use a timeout. He got out of bounds. They still have 2 left.
See the front 7 of the Browns kind of bluff and blitz. A veteran quarterback, a smart quarterback, Andrew Luck, sees the secondary's way off, knows that that's just a bluff. You got basic 3 deep, 5 under zone.
First and 10. Quickly gets it out. Reggie Wayne trying to get some free room and run it over the 40. Just short of the 42-yard line. And that kid, Leon McFadden, getting his first action, Bernie.
Nice job making a tackle there. Yeah. If he doesn't make that tackle for a 5-yard gain, that's a big play right there. 38
seconds left. Indianapolis uses another timeout. They'll have 1 left. I mean, if he gets by number 29, Leon McFadden, he's off to the races. And Reggie Wayne would win that race. Wayne has 7 catches here in the first half for 79 yards. Andrew Luck's got his next play and brings it in. They have 1 timeout left with 38 seconds remaining here in the half. There's Leon McFadden.
When you play it safe like that and you get it down to that 38 seconds, now you have 2nd and 5. Now this may be an opportunity, especially with press coverage outside, where if you're Andrew Luck, you may definitely want to take a shot and throw it up outside.
2nd and 5. Luck. He gets hit as he throws, and that forces another high one as he gets drilled. Paul Kruger in there again for the Browns as he got in there along with Quentin Groves. Those 2 guys have been with Andrew Luck in the backfield more than running backs have been back in there in the backfield with him. They have really come in after him here in the first half.
Again, Andrew Luck read the same thing I was. He sees the man coverage. He wants to throw it outside to the one-on-one coverage down the field. Paul Kruger completely disrupt that thought process.
3rd down for Indy. 33 seconds to halftime. 3rd and 5. And they run it. Ballard got hit at the 45-yard line, and he gets knocked down. They're short of the first down. DeQuell Jackson pretty active, along with TJ Ward, come up and make the play. 24 seconds left here in the half. The Browns stop the clock now and have 1 timeout remaining, at least on the board. I thought Cleveland was out of timeouts, but on the scoreboard, 1 timeout remaining. 10-0, Indianapolis in the lead. There's Chris Tabor, the Browns special teams coach. All right, Bernie, you're probably not going to get really good field position here, and you've got to think that Indianapolis does not want to give Benjamin a chance to return at all.
This is when the new special teams coach and guy I played with and was with the Browns, Brant Boyer, is the assistant special teams coach for the Colts. They definitely want an angled punt to the sidelines and not give Travis Benjamin a chance to return it.
McAfee hangs it very high in the air. It hits at the 5-yard line, and look at that. Indianapolis goes down, and they make the play on the punt. Sergio Brown out of Notre Dame. Safety is down there to corral it inside the 5 of the 4-yard line, and that's been the story of the Cleveland first half. They have been deep in their own territory the entire first half. 16 seconds left to go in the half. Kind of a frustrating first half for the Browns offensively.
Yeah, field position was backed up the whole first half. Mid-20-yard line on the first series was the best the Browns could do starting off. Just about every coach is going to not be too aggressive here.
See what Whedon does. Brandon Jackson into the game at running back right now with Obadiah in the backfield. And on first down, they'll give it to Jackson. Over the 5. They get him at the 6. They pick up 2 yards, 2nd down and 8. Clock will wind down, and that will do it here in the first half. Not what we saw in the first 2 games at home. But you got to fight through these things. 10-0. Could have been a lot worse. Big turnover as Tashawn Gibson came up with an interception right down by the Browns goal line, with Indianapolis going in for another score. For Brandon Whedon, bad field position and not able really to get a lot of rhythm into that passing game here in the first half. There were some big misses.
Yeah, the Colts came out like the Browns came out, playing a lot of zone coverage.
All right, let's go down to Dave Chudowski. He's with head coach Rob Chudzinski. This sideline report brought to you by Dodge. Hi, Dave.
All right, Jim, thank you, Coach. First preseason game where you're trailing at halftime. What's the difference tonight compared to the first 2 games?
Well, we just got to settle in. We got off to a rough start, and it's a matter of execution.
How about turnovers, penalties? I mean, these are things we didn't see in the last 2 games.
Yeah, no doubt. We stopped ourselves on offense. We're playing against a good team, and so you can't do those things, the penalty stopping a drive and a turnover stopping a drive.
Offensively, it seems like you're getting a lot of pressure.
Yeah, we just need to get in a good rhythm and get something going, and we'll be fine in the second half.
1 series for the starters coming out in the third?
Yeah, we'll go another series coming out.
Coach, thank you very much. Good luck in the second half. Jim, that's Coach Chud. Back up to you.
All right, thanks, Dave. So at halftime, it's really all Indianapolis, and the Browns defense was on the field for a lot of that first half. So the Colts lead over the Browns by a score of 10-0. The halftime show with Dave Chudowski. When we come back here from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. The Colts in the lead. Here are the numbers in the first half. Indianapolis 203 total yards and dominating with first downs and possession too. Almost 7, and indeed more than 7 minutes longer they had the ball than the Browns did. Browns could not hold on to the ball at all, and at times couldn't hold on to it physically either. Couldn't hold on to it possession-wise. Greg Little with a fumble, and the Browns only 1 for 6 on third down. 10-0 the score. Brandon McManus, a strong-legged rookie out of Temple, will kick off to start the second half. Johnson Bonamosi, who ran right out of his shoe the last time he returned, he runs over and catches, and we're underway. Second half here from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Bonamosi out maybe to the 20-yard line, dragged down there at the 20, and the Browns will begin.
I like the adjustment of Coach Tabers. We were talking about Bonamosi on the last kickoff return, not following his blocking, which was set up as an inside right return, inside the numbers. I think this time we just put the white flag up. Hey, he wants to run outside, let's block it outside. The blocking was designed to go outside left.
So 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Brandon Whedon back in the game. Maybe a series here in the third quarter, and that could be the end of his night.
Is that a blitz on the first play? Man coverage outside. Throw it up.
1st and 10, going long. Gordon going to go up in the air. Man, he is smothered down the field by Vontae Davis, who was stride for stride with him all the way down the field.
You know, young receivers and their ability to beat press coverage, it's imperative they do that versus bump. Josh Gordon has so much athleticism. Vontae Davis, I saw him a lot down in Florida. GM Grigson made a trade for him before last year, gave up a couple number 2 or number 3 draft picks for him. Josh Gordon must do a better job versus press coverage to get himself open, get some separation.
5 straight incompletions for Whedon, and on second down, the Browns run. Jackson inside, now to the outside, now to the stiff arm, and Toller's got him, and he whips him into the Browns sideline out of the 25-yard line, and Brandon Jackson gets 5 yards on the carry. Well, I think they've really helped themselves at the corner. Toller has looked good tonight. Vontae Davis is good.
Yeah, the play wasn't designed to be an outside run. Brandon Jackson saw it clogged up in the middle, tried to outrace him to the outside, got a few yards on it.
Well, we showed you 1 for 6 on third down in the first half, and now they are third down here. Third down and 5. Ball is at the 25-yard line. Whedon, a quick throw on the slant. He cannot hang on to it. Gordon drops the ball at the 32-yard line. They would have had the first down. Not a good night for Gordon.
Yeah, Josh Gordon, much has been said about the first 2 games missing. This is the most action he's going to get in the preseason. You see him take his eyes off it. He sees the safety right there and drops it. That is actually double coverage on him.
Marche Green is back to return for the Colts. Spencer Lanning will punt. That was a disappointing opening possession for the Browns. And on fourth down, Lanning sends it downward. Green's got to back up, makes the catch at his 15. At his 20. At the 30. Now it's a big return, 40. Up to midfield, tripped up. Lanning, the punter, got down there. He got a hold of him along with linebacker L.J. Fort, and a big, big return by Marche Green. So it was a 60-yard punt, but 32 yards the other way. Indianapolis will have the ball out by midfield when we come back. 13:53 left here in the third quarter. 10-0 Colts. The best seats in the house, a new home theater from Wayside Furniture, and be sure to enter our best seats in the house contest with a grand prize of 8 Lowe's seats to a Browns game, plus 2 recliners or a sofa from Flex Deal. Wayside in Akron, better furniture, priced lower. First and 10, Indy starts at the Browns 47 and a flag. And there have been very few of those here tonight. False start.
Offense, number 86. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
That's on a young tight end, Justice Cunningham. In fact, that's their first penalty. Now back over on their side of the field at the 48-yard line.
I think he was a little anxious on that type of running play. He's supposed to block down on Rubin there. Not exactly what a young tight end wants to do.
First down and 15 now from their own 48-yard line, leading 10-0. This is Donald Brown with a nice cut back to the 50, into the Browns secondary. Joe Hayden trying to get him. Quentin Groves does, but not before he got him all the way down to the 30-yard line. What a run by Donald Brown.
It's actually designed a press play to go belly to the right. He presses the hole, sees the cutback lane. That's good patience in the hole there.
22-yard gain down the field to the Browns' 30-yard line, and that was on first down and 15.
Hey, Ray Horton came out, played zone cover 3 the first few snaps. Enough of that. He's in the pressed man coverage right now.
Here's Locke, back to throw. He's got a man wide open. That's Havili, the fullback, who's got a touchdown already tonight. He makes the catch and runs it down near the 15-yard line, and another first down. He's over from Philadelphia. He got a 14-yard gain.
Well, you see what happens when you run the ball so good. Browns start trying to put a little more pressure on. Play action pass. Everyone's cognizant of the run. Running back gets lost in the traffic. Linebacker misses coverage on him. It's wide open, left uncovered out in the flat.
First and 10 at the Browns' 15-yard line. Right back to Donald Brown, and with that same cut that he used on that big run, he cuts left again inside the 10 down near the 8-yard line.
Similar concept, different play and different formation, but basically the same blocking scheme. Donald Brown again pressing the hole to the right. Sees it's clogged up for the young running backs. A lot of young running backs cut back too quick. They don't press the hole. Stay in the hole as long as possible. That extra split second allows that hole on the cutback lane to open up even more.
Big blitz by the Browns. They're going to run away from it. Here's Donald Brown, but the Browns run over to the corner and make the play. That's Tank Carter. And he's going to lose a few back near the 8-yard line.
And then from a coaching perspective, when you got a back who's running the ball like that, taking the cutbacks, a nice way to take that away is just blitz like the Browns did, clog up all the lanes. Saw a 6-man blitz.
3rd down and 3. The ball is back at the 8-yard line. They need to get to the 5 to get the first down. Now remember, Luck is not shy about pulling the ball down and running with it, especially from this range. This one he'll throw. Why not? He's got a man wide open, and T.Y. Hilton is in. Touchdown. That is way too easy.
Again, it's frustrating / I'm envious on Pep Hamilton, Andrew Luck. I've been watching these type of conceptual plays and the amount of success they had since their Stanford days. Put 3 receivers to the right, 3 defensive guys are lined up on them. This is such an obvious pick play. One guy's going to go to the flat, one guy's going to go up the field, another guy inside. They just switch it around, switch the formations around, and switch the guys doing each assignment. They create so many open, easy plays like that. And that's the 3rd time today a different receiver in a different formation has hit a play in the flat that was basically uncovered.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was like lining up in your driveway with your kid brother and just throwing the ball to him. That's how easy that was. And this is the NFL. 17-0 Colts. Second half, they go right down and they score a touchdown. And a look at the scoring drive brought to you by Liberty Ford. A new Ford brings a new adventure. Liberty makes it happen. The big run by Donald Brown ends up with this easy touchdown catch and a booming kickoff to boot. And Brandon McManus puts it out of the end zone, caught by wide receiver Mike Edwards. He caught it a yard out of the back of the end zone. Touchback, and the ball will come out to the 20-yard line. Now we'll wait and see who comes out for the Browns offensively. And it looks like Brandon Whedon's going to come back in because that first series in the second half was a 3-and-out.
Much like the first half, not much has been done offensively, and I think Coach Chud wants to see him get a good series, get a positive feeling. This should be some of the second teamers of the Indianapolis Colts here.
Marisic fullback, Jackson the running back, and Whedon will give it to Brandon Jackson, and he'll get drilled in the backfield. He'll fight to try and get back to the line of scrimmage, and he did a heck of a job in doing that. Ricardo Matthews is the player that blew in there and blew the play up with the long flowing hair coming out of the back of his Colts helmet.
Yeah, Owen Marisic's in at fullback. You know, he's been talked about being a good special teams player. He's actually missed a tackle on that long punt return to start the 3rd quarter. So being the 3rd preseason game, being the point in his career, probably imperative he shows a good physical presence and some self-worth here in this game to solidify a position on the team.
There's a catch by Josh Gordon to the sideline, and he gets pushed out of bounds. On the play, Cassius Vaughn knocks him out. He is short of the first down by 2 yards, sets up 3rd and 2. Whedon had got dry with completions until he connects here.
Nice job of the Browns and Whedon and Gordon taking advantage of just soft off coverage and throwing the quick out.
All right, 3rd down and 2. They have it at their own 28-yard line. They're down 17-0. Whedon trying to get Josh Cooper lined up properly and now brings him in motion.
Blitz man coverage.
He's going to give it to Cooper, who's got an alley after he makes the catch. He's got the first down to the Browns sideline and out over the 35 to the 37-yard line. Finally brought down on the play by Marche Green, and the Browns have a first down.
6 guys blitzing here. Excellent job with the offensive line, knowing their assignments, making a nice solid pocket. Similar conceptual plays that Andrew Luck, Pep Hamilton, and the Colts have been hitting against us today. 3rd and 2. We'll throw out to the flat.
Whedon play action. With time, throws, and a sprawling catch made by Marisic, who can get up and run, and he tumbled over a little bit and then does run, and he brings it down to the Indianapolis 49-yard line for a first down.
Nice hands, nice catch, a little low on the throw.
Yeah, he has had some trouble making catches out of the backfield, 14-yard gain, so it's good to see him make that catch. That's a good catch. And the Browns have it in Indy territory now, down to the 48-yard line of Indianapolis.
You see the protection start to break down there. Actually, the downfield throw was there. If you can't stand in and make the play, you saw the Colt D lineman coming clean on Whedon. He comes off early to Marisic just to get a positive play.
All right, well, they could not get the play lined up right. So they call a timeout. 8:50 left here in the third quarter. I think he just said, what's the matter? They just couldn't get it lined up right. Timeout here in Indianapolis. Browns are driving, looking for their first points of the night, down 7. The quarterback stats brought to you by First Energy, proud to be your hometown team. 11 completions, 11 out of 20 for 98 yards, and on a drive right now. Brandon Whedon still in there. First down for the Browns after they use a timeout from the Indy 48-yard line. Brandon Jackson is his running back. Play action fake. Whedon with time, throws way up in the air. Greg Little can't come down with it. There's a flag on the play. Whedon got hit and knocked down. We'll see what the call is going to be. Came in from the side on the flag. All right, here's the call.
Holding, defense, number 61. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's on their nose tackle, Josh Chapman, and the Browns will pick up an automatic first down. Down inside the Indianapolis 45 to the 43-yard line. Indianapolis with their number 2 defense in there. And the Browns pretty much going with their number 1 offense. That is Caesar Rayford coming off the corner. He's been a real rage here in the preseason for the Indianapolis Colts as he's fighting for a job on the team. He's out of the Arena League. On first down, 1st and 10. Here's Whedon. He's got Jackson in the flat. He's going to give it to him, but he can't come up with it as it's down at his feet, incomplete at the 48-yard line. And right out there with him was the linebacker, Mario Harvey, waiting for him. And it's 2nd and 10.
You have the press coverage outside, which means probably man coverage. So Brandon Jackson, albeit that's a nice throw in zone, not really where you want to go with the ball unless there's outside leverage on the defensive cover guy, which there wasn't there. You saw Brandon Jackson look up, take his eye off the ball, and end up dropping it. Even if he catches it, odds are that's not going to result in much of a gain.
I don't think so. I think you're right. 2nd down, and they'll run the ball here inside the 40 down to the 39-yard line. Chris Obanaya on the carry. On the tackle, Lawrence Guy, former Green Bay Packer. And it will be 3rd down coming up for the Browns. 3rd down, they're going to need more than 5, close to 6.
We've been seeing this play tonight quite a bit as a play action pass, faking the handoff.
Here's Obanaya now in at running back. We've seen him at fullback here tonight. 3rd down, 3rd and 6 with Josh Cooper motioning. Whedon looking right, throwing right. Cooper's got it, plucks it down, makes the catch, gets the first down. Into the Browns sideline. He fought off the coverage by Marche Green, and he picks up another first down. He's had a good second half, has Cooper.
It's a nice job by Josh Cooper. Again, this is man coverage. He does a nice job of getting up into the defensive back, getting a little separation on the timing of his break. That's about all you need, a nice couple, about a foot and a half like that of distance between yourself and the defensive back. Pro quarterbacks will make that throw. Very accurate throw by Brandon.
First down from the 32. He's got a man wide open on the sideline and missed him. He threw it on the backside and the wrong side of Kellen Davis, who was all by himself out at the 19-yard line.
Oh, well blocked play by the Browns on the right side. This is Mike Sam blitz. Man coverage. They blow it on Kellen. Brandon obviously throws it behind him. We'll have nightmares about that tonight.
Kellen Davis, former Chicago Bear, to the Browns sideline. 2nd down and 10. 17-0 Indianapolis. Whedon motions Cooper again.
Blitz again.
And here comes the blitz. Whedon's read it, and he's throwing for it, and it's over the right shoulder of Cooper, incomplete at the 5-yard line. On coverage there was Josh Gordon. And it will be 3rd down, 3rd and 10 for the Browns.
Again, nice job by the line picking up the blitz. 6 guys coming, plenty of time. The problem when you got a smaller receiver like that and you try to throw a bullet,
how much air you put on it?
Yeah, the margin of error is slim to none. So So you need to put a little air on that. You got to get that up and down, but you got to put a little air, a little arc on that throw.
Third down and 10 at the Colt 32. Whedon delivers, and that's going to be intercepted and dropped. He tried to get it into Cooper. It was broken up by Marche Green down inside the 25-yard line, and the Browns will trot out Shane Graham for a field goal attempt. So they were first and 10 at the 32, and they miss on 3 consecutive pass plays.
Phenomenal protection again. Josh Cooper, defensive guys, I don't like to give them a lot of credit. They know where the first down marks are. They settle right at the first down. Josh Cooper rounds his route, bends it off, runs into the defensive back, doesn't get a good job, a good push off. He undercuts him. Very fortunate that's not a pick six.
That's a 50-yard field goal attempt by Graham, and it is up and it is good. And he is 2 for 2 on the preseason. Shane Graham gets the Browns on the scoreboard. 7:16 left here in the third quarter. 50-yarder from Graham. And we'll take a timeout. Colts 17, Browns 3. Here's a look at the scoring drive brought to you by Liberty Ford. A new Ford brings a new adventure. Liberty makes it happen. Owen Marisic with that catch and tumble and run. Josh Cooper with a couple of nice catches. And then a 50-yard field goal by Shane Graham. And the Browns are on the board for the first time tonight, now trailing 17-3. Graham will kick off back deep for Indianapolis. Interesting story. That's David Reed over from the Baltimore Ravens in a trade this week. DeLon Carter, the former running back here in Indianapolis from Copley, Ohio, was traded over to Baltimore as Reed returns out over the 25-yard line out near the 27, and he was brought down on the play by Marisic, and Dominique Kroom is down there along with Mike Edwards. Matt Hasselbeck is into the game at quarterback as Andrew Luck had a very, very good, efficient, strong third preseason game. But Matt Hasselbeck has been around, hasn't he, Bernie?
Yeah, Matt Hasselbeck's quite a bit of years in the league, quite a bit of success in the league for somebody that didn't come in the league with much acclaim, and he had started in Green Bay and developed one of those big trades.
I know, I'm thinking of one, I don't know if you'll like it, but I was thinking with all those passes to Cooper, talk about...
All right, that was a run right there as Akeem Auguste is in on the tackle. The ball is out at the 29-yard line on the first down run. So now you're into a situation, Bernie, where for both sides now, you have a lot of kids out there on the field trying to get on tape, trying to make a play here, trying to sway a coach's opinion about whether or not they stay on the roster. Matt Hasselbeck is in his 15th year out of Boston College. The son of Don Hasselbeck, former tight end with the New England Patriots.
And again, a veteran quarterback. He sees the safety come up in the box, checks to the run away from the safety down to the bottom of the screen.
Nice play by Akeem Auguste as he cuts down the rookie running back Kerwin Williams all the way back behind the line of scrimmage, back inside the 25 of the 24.
Poorly blocked play by the Colts.
No blocks.
Excellent job by the Browns, just keeping their discipline, staying in their angles, staying in their gaps.
Third down and 11 for Hasselbeck. He went from Seattle to Tennessee, now here to Indianapolis.
Took a little quick peep to his left. He sees the man coverage.
And juggled, and they cannot hang on. Good hit over there in the corner by Jamora Slaughter as he makes the hit. The intended receiver was Nathan Palmer out at the 30-yard line, and that was a good spirited defensive series. Good to see Slaughter out on the field. He had that injury at Notre Dame, an Achilles tear, and he's fought his way back.
Very interesting coverage by Coach Horton there. Bringing the corner off the slot. Top of your screen, uncovered.
Pat McAfee into punch, stands back at his 10-yard line. Hands went very high and short. Browns are going to run up underneath it, but it's going to go out of bounds and land out of bounds, and they will end up with terrific field position out close to midfield. In fact, Rob Chudzinski said it should be at the 46-yard line of Indianapolis. I think they're going to put it right near the 50. So the Browns have half a field to work with and 5:39 left to go here in the third quarter, and Jason Campbell will be in at quarterback when we come back. We'll take the timeout. 17-3. Timeline brought to you by Dodge. Here's Dave Chudowski.
Hey, Jim, as you know, the Browns are missing quite a few players that are injured here tonight. The one that stands out to me is Devon Best. Made me think about it watching Cooper get all those catches and how important Best is to this offense. We saw in the first 2 games. Not having him tonight, a big deal. Then you don't have Gordon the first 2 games. They need to be full strength to be at full go, Jim.
All right, thanks a lot, Dave. Devon Best struggling with a little tendonitis in his knee. Brandon Jackson splits out Jason Campbell in at quarterback. First action of the night. Campbell throws over the middle to Kellen Davis. He catches and tumbles down inside the 45, down to the 44-yard line. He is tackled and corralled in the play by Cavell Connor.
You see a lot of teams against this 4 across zone kind of go to this type of formation to isolate the inside linebacker, to put him in pass coverage, make him try to cover something on the first down play that could easily get 5, 6, 7 yards, puts you in a second and medium, second and short situation.
And that's where they are right now. Second down at 4. Brad Smelly comes back into the backfield. The Browns give it to Brandon Jackson. He tunnels his way and fights it down near a first down. He might be just shy, short of the 40-yard line. Tackle made by Mario Harvey. And the Browns will have it third down in less than 1.
See Jason Campbell's stats. Obviously he's had a fantastic preseason with stats like that. And this type of situation where the second team guys for the Colts are out there with the younger guys with the Browns, a veteran quarterback tends to know how to isolate and take some really good favorable matchups.
Third down less than 1. Jackson tailback. Campbell's going to throw though. And he's got a man wide open, and he missed Kellen Davis, who has been wide open now twice. And the Browns have missed him. One by Whedon, this one by Campbell. Bernie, he was free and clear at the 20.
Well, I think we'll go for this here. Obviously, blown coverage, wide open.
They are going to go on fourth down. 4:19 left to go, third quarter, down 17-3. And Campbell's got fourth down and less than 1.
Even though Jason Campbell, he saw pressure in his face, he took a hit. You have to make that throw.
Brandon Jackson trapped behind the line of scrimmage. The Browns don't get it. As the Colts' Mario Harvey blew off the corner, got into the backfield, and the Browns on third down and less than 1 miss a big play, and on fourth down and less than 1 they lose a couple.
You see when you pull the guard blocks down in the center, but you're pulling out, you leave that gap and that B gap. Middle linebacker shoots the gap, makes the play for a loss on fourth down.
You know, they've had trouble on that third or fourth down and short so far in the preseason. Now it's 1st and 10. Indianapolis from their own 43-yard line. Hasselbeck, play action, plenty of time. Throws, and it's intercepted, and they can't hold on. Kenna almost comes up with it. Abdul Kenna from New Mexico Highlands.
You see Matt Hasselbeck looking to the right, comes back left. I got in a lot of trouble for describing route running weeks ago. You can't let the corner come in front of you like that if you're the wide receiver.
2nd and 10, Nathan Palmer, the intended receiver. Hasselbeck straightening things out at the line of scrimmage. He's going to lob a ball. He's got a man wide open. It's Griff Whalen out of Stanford. And he is tackled by Akeem Auguste down the field inside the Browns 30 at the 29-yard line. Griff Whalen.
You heard us talk about in the last series, the Brandon Whedon arrow takeoff, same throw to Josh Cooper, not air-ended. Here's the veteran quarterback. Little different situation, but he throws it early because he has pressure also. He throws it up with an arc under it, a little air under it, lets the receiver run under it. Beautiful.
28 yards, 1st and 10, Indianapolis. They hand the ball off. Kerwin Williams is dancing in that backfield. And Brian Sanford, who's had a heck of a week, makes the tackle. Sanford was traded at the beginning of the week by the Browns out to Seattle. The offensive lineman John Moffitt came to Cleveland. The Browns then voided the trade. Sanford was out with the Seahawks. The Browns reclaimed him. He had to fly back from Seattle to Cleveland, and he came back. And Rob Chudzinski said he was fine with it. He was happy to be back.
Doesn't have much of an option what he's supposed to say at that point. With cuts coming on Tuesday and on next weekend.
2nd down and 13. Straight ahead run, popped and knocked down. Kerwin Williams again. Williams having a tough night getting loose. The Browns have really tagged him all night long, and the ball is back near the 32-yard line. Then it will be 3rd down and 13.
But, you know, with the cuts coming next week, when they trade you like that as a player, that no matter what you say when it happens or when you come back, that has to be in your head. It's imperative, I know from Sanford's part, that he wants to make a difference tonight and show up on film.
Griff Whalen going for the ball down at the 5, and I think Akeem Auguste got into his body. That's a flag. That's going to go against the Browns defensive back.
Yeah, it appears like a nice swat away with the right hand. I bet you if you look closely at the play, you're going to see his left hand, left arm, kind of grabbing the receiver down the seam.
Here's the call.
Pass interference, defense number 34. Automatic, 1st down.
And they say it happened at the 12-yard line. Justin Cole couldn't come in off the corner. Here's the play.
Yeah, you see that left hand?
Yep. Browns get late substitutions in. Ball is inside the 15-yard line, down near the 12. 1st down after the penalty on the Cleveland secondary. Hasselbeck slings one in. Fighting for yardage. Robert Hughes, a fullback out of Notre Dame, makes the catch and brings it down to the 10-yard line for a gain of 2. On the tackle for the Browns, L.J. Fort, the linebacker. 2nd down, Indianapolis at the Browns' 10-yard line.
And we've seen quite a few times by the Colts and Pep Hamilton how they try to get in the red zone on 3rd and short inside the 10, how they try to hit that guy in the flat and spring him open like that. L.J. Fort does a nice job of covering on that 1st down play.
Saw the carry by Williams, and he got wrapped up. Kendrick Adams gets in there, makes the tackle for the Browns out of LSU, and the ball is down at the 7-yard line. 3rd down. 3rd and 4, down to about a minute and a half left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Indianapolis in control, 17-3. Hasselbeck to the end zone. Griff Whalen on the right corner, can't come up with it. Incomplete. It will be 4th down on coverage. Vernon Kearney for the Browns.
Actually, a pretty nice little fade.
Is that a hard pass to throw, Vernon?
You can throw it in your sleep. You should be able to. That's close. And again, Matt Hasselbeck, with all the years he's played in the league, that's something we saw at the end of the Super Bowl last year. We saw it, Brandon Wheaton in the first game against the Rams. You know, throw the ball out of bounds. Probably the last thing you want to do. You aim for the back pylon. You try to drop it right on that back pylon in the back corner of the end zone. Have the receiver do his release, which is actually excellent right there, and fade to the back there.
Adam Vinatieri hits the 25-yard field goal, and Indianapolis stretches their lead out. It's 20-3 with a minute 15 left. Chuck Pagano ready to begin his 2nd year as the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Rob Chudzinski telling us yesterday, and of course you knew him from the University of Miami days before Chuck came in to the NFL with Butch Davis and to the Browns with Butch Davis. He had a long career at the University of Miami. And Coach Judd remembers him when he was a grad assistant.
Oh, we all remember. He was a kid in 1986 as he joined the U staff as a graduate assistant when actually Coach Judd was still playing in his tight end days.
Here's a look at the scoring drive brought to you by Liberty Ford. A new Ford brings a new adventure, and Liberty makes it happen. 8 plays, 51 yards, 3 minutes, and a 25-yard field goal by Vinatieri. McManus to kick off, the rookie from Temple. Mike Edwards, the wide receiver, is back deep. He's not going to get a chance again as that is boomed down to the end zone through the uprights, and the ball will come out to the 20-yard line on the touchback. The Browns are in Chicago on Thursday night to end the preseason at Soldier Field. And you'll see your buddy Mark Trestman.
Yeah, Coach Trestman,
the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Did you ever think he'd get an opportunity to be a head coach in the NFL? I mean, a head coach.
I would have said definitely for sure yes to that question.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 or 10 years ago.
Right.
As you start getting into your mid to late 50s and you're having trouble cracking into the league, that answer gets a little less definitive. And it's a big opportunity for him. I mean, Lovie Smith was 10-6 last year. Jay Cutler, who I love his athleticism, his ability to throw the ball, but has kind of underachieved or not lived up to expectations through most of his career, but has so many good physical tools. But the team's a little bit aging. Brian Urlacher's retired. Julius Pepper's a little older. Brandon Marshall, the big-time receivers, had 3 hip surgeries in 4 years. But we've had a big kid from
Hey, look at this run by Jermaine Cook from Youngstown State. As he took it inside, there's a flag down, and then he cut it to the outside, and we'll see what the call is. And it's holding.
Number 61. 10-yard penalty remains, second down.
That's Kalen Hoffman who ends up with the penalty called on the Browns, and that's too bad. They wiped out a first down.
Again, even though I love Jeffries, a 6'6 receiver from South Carolina playing for the Bears, I can't overtalk my Youngstown State running back here.
Yeah. All right, the Browns are now marked back to their 16-yard line with 32 seconds left to go, third quarter. And I have to be honest with you, as third preseason games go, this has not been a good one for the Browns here tonight. Cook, the running back from Youngstown State.
Gonna have off coverage on Travis Benjamin.
Underneath, this is Smelly. Fights for 5 more yards, and he gets out near a first down, and he's got it out to the 31-yard line, the second-year man out of Alabama. And that's going to do it for the third quarter here in Indianapolis. 3 quarters complete on preseason game number 3 in Indianapolis in total control, 20-3. The replay of the game brought to you by PNC Bank, the official bank of the Cleveland Browns. Tashawn Gibson with the Colts going in for possibly a touchdown. He comes up with a deflected ball off the hands of fullback Stanley Havili and with a big interception. And the Browns on the first play of the fourth quarter on first down run the ball and get it out over the 35-yard line. Tackle made by Cavell Connor on the run by Jermaine Cook. So he's getting some action. Good for him.
Yeah, and you see some base formations now from both teams, especially offensively, trying to maybe stay away from some injuries, establish a physical presence, and keep the clock moving.
Second down 5, Campbell up. Oh, he got nailed, and that's Caesar Rayford who got in there and got him all the way back at the 25-yard line. He's had a big preseason. He is a big guy. He's got to be about 6'6". 6'7", actually. 6'7". He had a big play in the Giant game on Sunday night. Well, they got to be happier, Bernie, around here in Indianapolis. Their lone preseason game here before tonight was a couple of weeks ago against Buffalo. That did not go well. And their owner apologized basically to the fans via Twitter about the team's performance. Third down now for the Browns. 3rd and 14. Campbell got hit again, stayed up, got it to Kellen Davis, and he'll get hit at the 29-yard line and spun down. Well, that guy's had a nice game, Mario Harvey, as he makes the play.
He's had a fantastic game. He showed up and made multiple big plays. Wonder if I could ask the owner, Mr. Irsay, if he could figure out my password for Twitter so I get re-hooked up.
You're off now?
No, I'm on. I just have to reconnect it myself.
Oh, you've forgotten your password?
Well, I have it somewhere. I'm not exactly the technical Einstein here with technology.
Spencer Lanning into punt. Jabin Sambrano is back deep. And Sambrano, a wide receiver, makes the catch. Then he's going to cut it up the middle. And Brian Sanford is down there, one of the tacklers for the Browns. Also down there, Leon McFadden. And it will be at the 18-yard line when we come back. 12:59 left to go, fourth quarter. And it's the Colts 20 and the Browns 3. Liberty Ford, a new Ford brings a new adventure. Liberty makes it happen. Jamora Slaughter, the rookie, and 6th-round draft choice of the Browns from Notre Dame, made it happen on that play right there against Nathan Palmer. And he's just got to be thrilled to be out on the field after what he went through. He got hurt in their game against Michigan State last year, which was early in the Notre Dame season. 1st and 10 now for Indianapolis. Hasselbeck, bootleg, roll out, throws, man wide open. Up the sideline, over the 20, up to the 30-yard line, and a first down. That's Griff Whalen.
Pretty fortunate or excellent play calling. This is a corner blitz to the right. He runs right past the back coming out the flat.
So a first down out to the 30-yard line. Whalen's had a pretty good ball game since getting in here in the second half. Fighting for a spot on the Colts roster.
You see safety's going to walk up into the 8-man front, anticipate and run left, and they do.
And a cut to the outside. That's Meggett. Gavin Meggett, the son of Dave Meggett, the great Giant running back. And he carries out over the 35-yard line.
He's got the quicks like his dad.
Yeah, he does.
That's a frustrating thing for a coach, like a defensive coach like Ray Horton. He actually calls a good defense. They're in the 8-man front to the weak side like that. The guys are shaded, yet they still get outside technique. They get outside of the defense and still make a 6-yard run when it should be shut down for almost no gain.
2nd and 4. Meggett again. Good hit. James Michael Johnson got in there off the backside and made the play. Second-year linebacker from Nevada. Tank Carter got in there too, but it was James Michael Johnson that made the play. And it will be third down coming up for the Colts, and they go without a huddle. Basically just gathered, got the play, and got right up to the line of scrimmage on 3rd and 5. Hasselbeck to the middle. That's Whalen. Got away from Auguste, and he gets collared into the Browns sideline at the 49-yard line, and a first down. Gain of 14.
I like it. Interesting with a 20-3 lead in the fourth quarter of the preseason game. You go without a huddle, the team that's winning, to accelerate the play and push the pace. Ended up working for a first down, keeping the Browns certain personnel on the field, which obviously Indianapolis wanted to do.
And a flag comes in. Flag down.
5-yard penalty remains, first down.
We missed the front part of that, but anyway, the penalty goes against the Colts back to the 45-yard line. And it becomes first down and 15. Indianapolis will end the preseason. This next week they'll play Cincinnati at Cincinnati. Bengals have looked very, very strong in the preseason. They'll play that game at Paul Brown Stadium, and then they get the Raiders on the opening week. Hasselbeck now must use a timeout as they could not get the play lined up properly. So they get a penalty and now a timeout with 10:41 left to go in the game. Chuck Pagano looking over to the offensive staff saying, what the heck's going on? We'll take a timeout and see what's going on. Colts lead by 17. That's what's going on right now. 23 Indianapolis. Well, it's brought to you by your Cleveland Akron area Lexus dealers who invite you to test drive a Lexus today. Jermaine Cook, running back, Youngstown State. 2 carries, 11 yards, 5.5 a crack. Hoping the Browns get the ball back soon, that he can get back in that backfield.
Go Penguins.
That's right. First down and 15 after they needed a timeout, and they run the ball this time, and that's Meggett. Down on the Browns' 40-yard line, finally clipped down in the secondary. Hakeem Auguste ends up without his helmet, and he got the tackle, but Meggett, and it's hard to see him at first, to find him, and then you find him, and he's through. 15 yards, first down on the Cleveland 40.
Well-blocked play there. Not what you want to see from the defensive line in front seven of the Browns in their run defense.
And the Browns just call a timeout. So we'll take a timeout with them. 10:13 left. 20-3. Indianapolis in the lead. In the game, Indianapolis leading 20-3. Bernie's been telling us about the Bernie Kosar Foundation throughout the preseason. Bernie, what's up?
Well, you know, we've been pretty proud over the years. It's one of the things with youth and continuing education. Been talking about my foundation with Scott and the Play It Forward. People like Patty and Tim Highland who've been helping me out, working with me. It's been an honor to kind of be back in the community and have things that we're able to help and put back with the kids, and also help with some of the ex-athletes who have going through some of the concussion issues and some of the health and wellness issues, to kind of share with them the programs we have to kind of maybe stay away from issues like that.
Indianapolis recovers a Matt Hasselbeck fumble after the Browns got good pressure on him and knocked the ball away when he had it up by his ear. Cocked and ready to throw, and it becomes 2nd down and 15. Hasselbeck gonna let one air out with a flag down, throws it long and deep down to the 10-yard line. It was intended on the play for Lanier Sampson, but there's a flag down, and I think it's a false start on Indianapolis.
I think it was an illegal formation.
Asking Rob Chudzinski if he wants the penalty.
Illegal formation, offense. This penalty has been declined. 3rd down.
Which will make it 3rd down and 15.
Even though with the refs it's the same signal as legal procedure, false start. If it was a false start, they have to stop the play. Wouldn't be able to even get that play off and throw it. So it tends to be receivers, not enough guys on the line of scrimmage, or a receiver set back.
Hasselbeck throws, and this is Griff Whalen, and he juggled the ball after he caught it. He had to recover it, and then Auguste puts him into the sideline with help from a couple of other Browns defenders. Kendrick Adams was over there, and it will become 4th down, and it does not look like Whalen's getting up too fast.
Oh, he's grabbing his right knee. He's the second-year guy.
It's actually another kid, Nathan Palmer, who was over there, and he got caught in the back part of the play. So we'll check him out, take a timeout here as he is all crumpled up right in front of the Browns bench. 9:25 to go in the game when we come back. Play of the game brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Get the most sports on any screen with Time Warner Cable Sports Pass. Time Warner Cable, enjoy better. Now that is the definition of wide open. T.Y. Hilton from Andrew Luck. Indianapolis is going to punt. Nathan Palmer was the injured Colt player with his right ankle helped off the field. Back deep is Mike Edwards to return for the Browns. Fair catch called for inside the 10 near the 9. And the Browns again for yet another time tonight will work on a long field with Jason Campbell in at quarterback. There's Mike Edwards. He'd love to get a chance to return here tonight, either on kickoffs or on punts, but he's been unable to do that. 9:13 left. What's been the most discouraging thing that you saw tonight from the Browns? Why they're just sitting at 3 points?
Well, I think it's been a combination of stuff. Indianapolis has played probably a little more zone, and it's kind of exposing how we're not really. Brandon may want to let the zones expand more instead of dropping down quick to the checkdowns. But when it is press coverage and it is man coverage, the lack of separation on the outside. Josh Gordon had a few chances against it, didn't really separate himself. Greg Little's had a couple catches. They were perfect throws, nice catches by him. But the lack of separation sometimes by the wide receivers really inhibits the overall flow of a passing game.
Dan Gronkowski, the tight end, could not come down with that pass. 2nd and 10 for the Browns from their own 9-yard line. Campbell floats the ball over the middle, juggled, and incomplete, dropped. So Mike Edwards had it across the middle and then peeked up, and when he did, he dropped the ball, and it's incomplete, and it is 3rd down and 10.
And again, it's a ball he should catch. It's just in those zone coverages, they rushed 5 there, but yet played zone coverage. If you hold that ball just another second or so, the expansion of the underneath coverage allows for incredibly big holes and voids within that coverage that give the receivers a less congested area to catch the ball and turn it up and run.
3rd and 10. Campbell, he's got a man open. That's Jermaine Cook. Cook fighting his way and gets the first down over the 20 out to the 22-yard line. Nice job, caught it, and then let the defense kind of ride by him, and on the cutback he got the extra yardage needed.
Okay, this is a perfect example I'm talking about. Holds it, that's a 7-step drop, a couple steps. Now, a lot of times you can't hold it that long because of the pressure, but versus the zone, you tend to be able to hold it a little longer than usual. That underneath coverage gets depth, and here, just on an easy check down, to get a first down.
Here comes a blitz right through. He's got to throw that away. That was just easy for Mario Harvey, who broke through again, untouched, and Campbell did the right thing. He airmailed that one into the Colts sideline. There's a flag down.
There's a loss of down. Second down.
Grounding. Intentional grounding?
Well, it is, but I don't think you should call it. It's the first time. If you've heard me brag a lot about the A gaps of the Browns and protections the first 3 games or 2 games and 3 quarters, that's the first time kind of allowed somebody to break through in the A gap. Completely disrupts the play. Nothing Jason Campbell could really do.
So it's a loss of down. Second down, 19 with 8:22 left to go. That guy's been pretty much all over the field since he's come into the game. Now the officials are huddling up. I think it's about where the ball should be spotted.
The 1 yard to 10-yard penalty.
That made all the difference in the world.
He's had his mic on for like every 4th word of what he's saying. I mean, we're getting bits and pieces of what he's saying. This is almost like a version of What's My Line? All right, here's Campbell on second down and 20.
Blitz at the bottom of the screen.
Steps up, throws over the middle, caught by Mike Edwards. He's got it over the 25-yard line, out near the 28. Tackled down on the play by Larry Asante, former Browns draft choice out of Nebraska.
Outstanding job, Jason Campbell. Patience here. Blitz off the right. Nice job by the right tackle, hitting the D end and coming off for the DB. Just giving him that extra split second to stand in there, shuffle up a step, and gun a square in over the middle.
Third down, they need 3. A blitz coming again. Campbell throws, that's caught. It's Roberson, and he's fighting his way over the 40-yard line, and he spills out to the 44. Cordell Roberson, who caught that touchdown pass in game 1 of the preseason from Brian Hoyer against St. Louis, makes the catch there. Wants the ball, wants more, wants to make a play. These guys are in that kind of a situation right now. First down, Campbell. And they get him right by the jersey. That's Rayford, Caesar Rayford again. And the Browns were going to get hit with holding anyway. I think on the outside, Butler was going to get hit, the tackle. Here comes the call.
There are fouls against both teams that will offset. Holding, defense number 54. Holding, offense number 79. By rule, these penalties will offset. Replay, first down.
Well, that's the penalty on the Colts, Harvey, and the penalty on the Browns is right on the corner there as he was trying to hold off Caesar Rayford. I mean, how do you keep him off the roster? He's had a great preseason.
Guys with that type of potential, you're absolutely right. And if they don't make this roster, which it looks like he will, somebody else for sure will be picking him up.
Campbell for Kroom over the middle, and Dominic Kroom makes the catch. A flag comes out. They're going to throw it in. I wonder if they hit him up high in the helmet.
Yeah, they're going to call that again. I guess that's a penalty today, but you know, when the guys are going to the ground, they jump to make a catch like that. It's not even a good hit by the DB hit.
There is no foul on the play. The play will go as a completed pass, first down for Cleveland.
Wow, they must have been listening to you. Bernie, huh? Who
Nice
says nobody ever listens to you? It's just bang, bang right there?
Yeah, I mean, you're asking too much of the defensive guys to stuff like that.
That was Asante, the defensive back. And Dominic Kroom with the nice catch out of Central Arkansas. First and 10, Browns have it at the Indianapolis 31-yard line. Campbell kind of threw it behind Mike Edwards a little bit on his back shoulder as he was running across the field at the 26, covered by Mario Harvey, and it's incomplete. Down to 6:39 left in the game.
You know, it's really a big opportunity, like Jim pointed out, to guys to get on film, you know, whether it's, you know, Culberson or somebody like that, who, even if they don't make the 53-man roster, there's other teams looking, like we pointed out. Plus, there's other things like practice squad. And for an undrafted free agent, To have that opportunity to be on a team for that first year and get in there is imperative.
Blitz coming, they pick it up. Campbell floats the ball up. Roberson's over there on that far side and makes the catch. He went up and got it inside the 15-yard line at the 13. He has done nothing that would tell you that he does not belong somewhere. Practice squad somewhere else.
I'll give you that. But you can't let Jason Campbell. That throw is beautiful. A blitz off the corner. He threw it out incredibly early. The sense of timing is masterful, and then gets run over, but still has enough courage to throw an out route inside the 20-yard line on a timing like that. It was beautiful to watch.
Incomplete to Mike Edwards. Second down. Campbell playing behind Brandon Weeden. Came into training camp. Actually, when he signed with the Browns, said he knew what the situation was. He would compete hard. He would help Weeden as much as he needed. In other words, the perfect situation for a guy that's been around the league to come in and help off the field and on the field wherever's needed. So it's second down inside the 15-yard line. High snap. He's in trouble. He's going down. Harvey and Rayford are on top of him. Back near the 18. Well, it started with a bad snap.
Again, sometimes the centers, when they see a potential blitz like this in the A-gap,
he wasn't even looking for the snap.
They get a little antsy, jumpy, and besides the snap being bad, I'm going to venture to guess Jason Campbell wasn't wrong on the snap count.
All right, they've gone backwards back to the 18-yard line, and it is third down and 15. They need to get down near the 3 to get a first down. Smelly in motion. And again, the play is all messed up on the snap.
False start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty remains. Third down.
So they call it on the left tackle, Rashad Butler. And the ball now goes back to the 23-yard line.
Sometimes you see the rule when you see the D lineman move like that. Sometimes they give you the call where they instigated the movement penalty. I'm not trying to cover for Miami guy. He's trying to get the jump because he's got a tough guy.
Oh, he got stripped of the ball. The ball is down at the 25-yard line and covered up as Campbell got nailed from behind. And the Colts were coming in, and it might have been 49 Caesar Rayford again. Campbell slow to get up now. As the Colts tee off on the Browns coming off that corner, and Rayford has not been able to be handled by anybody that the Browns put out there on that corner. Brandon Weeden's backup now is slow to get up and now is up and walking it off. Let's see it again.
His speed and athleticism with his pass rushes.
All right, so Shane Graham is in. Hopefully Campbell's all right. He is still very slow walking it off. 44-yard field goal attempt by Graham. He hit from 50 yards earlier here in the second half. 2 for 2 on the preseason, kick on the way, and it is up and good from 44 yards away, and Shane Graham is 3 for 3.
Well, you see why Jason Campbell got off slow there.
Yeah, now that's the concern over there on the Browns bench is Campbell. And he's pointing down to his lower right leg.
And again, this isn't the most detailed, astute analysis, but when 3 guys over 275 pounds run into you, you increase the chances of things getting hurt. You see somebody looks like fell on his knee or his ankle.
So Brian Hoyer is over on the sideline, helmet on, and he'll come back in. He's talking with George Warhop, the Browns offensive line coach there. And we'll wait on Jason Campbell. We'll take a look at the quarterback stats right now, brought to you by First Energy, proud to be your hometown team. 12 for 25, 105 yards for Brandon Weeden on the night into the third quarter. Jason Campbell, 8 for 14 for 112. And the Browns have not gotten into the end zone here tonight. They have had 2 long field goals by Shane Graham, but you worry now about Campbell if he's all right. after he got hit on that last play. Really got hit a couple of times in that series.
Yeah, it took a couple hits. Like we pointed out on a couple versus the blitz.
Onside kick attempt by the Browns, up in the air, fighting for the football, and they got it. And the Browns come up with the ball. Cordell Roberson does it again. He's made some great catches, and on a beautifully executed onside kick, they bounce it up high. How they do it nowadays, there it is. That bounce kick gets that big hop up in the air, and Roberson goes up with the good hands and comes down with it, and the Browns get the ball back. Now there's a guy that's made some plays here tonight when he's gotten the opportunity.
He's definitely done himself well on the playmaking side outside, making catches, and on special teams like that.
All right, Brian Hoyer in at quarterback. Jermaine Cook will be his running back. We'll see if the Browns can handle that rush. Coming off the right side from Rayford, here's Hoyer. He's got time. He delivers, and it's deflected and intercepted, and they're going to run it all the way back. Coming back with it, Larry Asante, the former Brown, scores against the Browns. Touchdown, Indianapolis.
Yeah, I think Brian wants this one back. The zone coverage. He thinks and the receiver probably should settle down, slow it down, coming across the field like that, because the nickel defender was out actually in front of him. Brian Hoyer throws it to slow him down.
Well, that went off Roberson, picked off by Larry Asante, and he is gone for the touchdown. And the return was 48 yards. McManus in for the extra point, and the kick is good. 4:22 left in what has been a long night for the Browns. 27-6, Indianapolis. I think you just put this one behind you.
I'm just thinking that myself. You know, you reach a point where you may want the young receivers to get a look, or the O-line. You may want Brian Hoyer to get some positive throws against this, which will be a soft zone now. But you also run the risk of some injuries, things of that nature. You see Jason Campbell sitting on the bench getting his leg looked at. May not be bad just to get ready for the cuts on Tuesday. Try to run the clock out a little bit here with the score going the way it is.
You know what? I agree with you on that. I think, what's happened has happened, and the night's work is done, and I know you've got 4:22 left, and you really hope that Campbell is all right over there on the Browns bench, although I see him over there, and he's kind of looking through those Polaroids that they send down, looking at the plays, so maybe it is okay after he had taken some hits. McManus to kick it off. Mike Edwards is back deep. He races over into the corner of the end zone, but that is gone, and out of the end zone, the ball will come out to the 20-yard line. From Progressive Field tonight, the Indians, after losing last night, come back and beat the Twins tonight 7-2 to square that series up at 1-1. Third and final game of the homestand. It's only a weekend stay at home for the Indians is tomorrow afternoon. Zach McAllister gets the win to go to 7-7. We told you that Kipnis and Santana had homered. That's a good sign that Jason Campbell appears as though he's okay after he limped off the field on his last day and on a hit into the pocket. Brian Hoyer is in. Fires, and Roberson dropped the ball. He was wide open at the 35-yard line, and Bernie, I think if he had caught it, the way the Colts secondary was split, he had an alley to go all the way.
Wow, that's what we've talked about all offseason. In football, on the air, off the air, in the locker room, in the chamber room. That's that skinny bang-aid off of 3 deep, 3 under zone. They blitz to Brian Hoyer's left. Line does a nice job of picking them up. And he throws it on rhythm, a beautiful, about basically 16 to 18-yard skinny post. He could have brought that right out the backside, just like you mentioned.
Yeah, I think so. Second down and 10. Flags come down. And I think this is a false start.
Offense number 65. 5-yard penalty remains. Second down.
And it's on the rookie guard, Garrett Gilkey. Ball gets moved back to the 15-yard line. 4:17. Anyway, the Indians go on that huge road trip now. They go to Atlanta and Detroit next week. But first, the Twins tomorrow.
I'm sorry, I digressed to Gilkey's hairstyle. Did he go to the Steve Everett School of Hair?
Steve Everett, yes. Former top draft choice of the Browns out of the University of Michigan. Brian Hoyer will dump it underneath, and that will be sniffed out as Jermaine Cook is corralled in there. In on the tackle, C.O. Prime. That's quite a name, C.O. Prime on the tackle for Indianapolis. Well, there's a guy, Steve Everett.
That really, I've made it the whole day being good to them.
I mean, but Steve Everett was a guy that wore his Browns colors even
So
when
proudly.
he left Cleveland after the Browns left Cleveland, to the point where he would take a fine, I believe, didn't he? He would continue to wear his Browns bandana underneath his helmet.
Yeah, Steve's
He
a
took it
great
seriously.
friend and loves the Browns and loves his time here, and he still thinks a lot about it. He's down in South Florida, down in the Keys actually.
Is he an artist still, doing a lot of art?
Artist. He's suffering through a lot of the concussion head things that a lot
Sorry to
of
hear
us
that.
have. He's young. He's younger too. He's in his mid-40s.
Well, Jermaine Cook made that catch over the middle, could not get the first down. The Browns will punt. Spencer Lanning is in to punt. And back deep is Jabin Sambrano. Kind of a tumbling punt. Hasn't been a great night for Lanning. And wow, Torrey Gurley came down, and it was bang, bang after Sambrano made the catch. Gurley was right there when he made it, and he made the hit. The wide receiver, Torrey Gurley. Watch this. He catches, and number 9's right there.
I tell you, he was right there, but I think the Colts number 37 had a harder hit.
Let's go down to the Browns sideline right now. Here's Dave with an injury update.
All right, Jim, thanks. Nothing official from the Browns yet on Jason Campbell, but I saw him working on his right foot, but he's walking around, as you mentioned before. Another note, Jamor Slaughter out with the groin. Back to you.
Oh, and he had just come back in. Dave, sideline report brought to you by Dodge. 1st and 10, Indianapolis from their own 38-yard line. Chandler Harnish is into the game at quarterback, but they are running down the sideline. Kerwin Williams with the run. The rookie finally gets loose. He's had a tough night running the football. The Browns have been in the backfield with him every time he has taken a handoff, but he got loose this time. Missed tackle there on the side. That was Josh Aubrey. Aubrey had left the game and left the field and got back into the Browns locker room and then came back out, rejoined the team. And he could not make the tackle on Williams, which is unlike him. He's a good tackler. Chandler Harnish from Northern Illinois, but he grew up near Indianapolis. Throws the ball out to David Reed. Nice play. Kenna is on the tackle for the Browns. Abdul Kenna makes the tackle. There's a flag down on the play.
Typically, probably wouldn't see this at the end of a game, but running back on a nice run.
Illegal use of the hands of the face defense, number 67. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And that's on Ishmaeli Kitchen.
That was actually a running play there that the Colts saw off coverage.
5-yard penalty, still carries automatic first down.
Saw off coverage. He throws the quick hitch outside to pick up 5 or 6 yards. It's incredibly unfair for a defensive lineman on a running play that turns into a pass play with O-lineman going down the field in your face and running into you, which is supposed to be pass protection, yet on a pass play like that.
1st and 10 now at the Browns 30. Harnish to Kerwin Williams.
You see Ray Horde make the adjustment.
Oh, that's a nice play. Now that's much more like it by Josh Aubrey. He comes up, makes the play. It's been one of the defensive coordinator's favorites of the young players who have come in to try to bust into the roster. He's liked him since they've been out on the field, and he comes up right there. Look at that tackle.
Nice form tackle. I would hope the Colts let this run to the 2-minute warning. And they are. What are you laughing about,
Well, I'm
partner?
laughing because you're really almost like, willing that clock to run down. You
Well,
don't see a mammoth comeback here. 2-minute warning. I'll let you think that over. We'll take a timeout. 2 minutes left to go in the game. Indianapolis leading 27-6. minutes to go in the game. 27-6, Indianapolis with the lead and the ball at the Browns' 31-yard line. Game 3 wrapping up. Game 4 Thursday night. Roster will go down to 75 on this cut, and then down to the real thing right after that final preseason game leading up to the September 8th opening weekend for the Browns against Miami. This is Kerwin Williams. He's inside the 30 down to the 29-yard line as they run that clock down. In on the tackle for the Browns is Shmaley Kitchen, James Michael Johnson, the linebacker.
This is a nice opportunity for the quarterback here. Young kid for the Colts. If you look hard, I'm kind of chuckling to myself. He's looking so hard to throw that eye contact and throw that ball out there and get a cheap little completion. Deacon would go in the booth and go down and strangle him for extending the game.
From the 30-yard line, 3rd down and 9 now. Browns have a good rush. They give the ball off to Kerwin Williams. He's trying to beat that blitz, and he's down to the 20, and I think he did. He got to the 19-yard line. Right up, they're going to mark him back near the 20, which is right where the first down marker is, and I believe he's got it. 1st and 10 for the Colts. He slingshots around that corner, and Botomosi comes up from a safety spot to hit him, and it's a first down. Indianapolis now from the Browns 20 with 56 seconds left, and they can just take a knee. They'll put that receiver Griff Whalen back deep in the backfield, and Harnish will take a knee, and that's going to wrap it up.
That's one
You're
way
from Indianapolis, a night that we came in with a lot of superlatives about the way the Browns played in the first 2 games, and they were legitimate, very, very strong performances against the Rams, and then in the game last week against the Lions, but playing on the road different, playing a good team different. Indianapolis certainly focused, coming in their 3rd preseason game, and the Browns had some woes here tonight.
Some woes is being gentle. And again, not trying to make excuses, but we had such a good first 2 preseason games, and nice to see Chud and Coach Pagano at midfield like that. To see both of them elevate to where they are after seeing where they started from, it's just phenomenal for me to look at.
Short week, cuts are coming, and then off to Chicago, and the Browns will take on the Bears to end the preseason. Strong performance by Andrew Luck. Brandon Weeden had better games before this one against the Rams and Lions, and we'll wait to see if he even participates and how many of the other starters would participate against the Bears coming up on Thursday night, because all destinations now have you getting ready for the Dolphins on September 8th. Final score here tonight from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, the Colts 27 and the Browns 6. We're back to wrap it up. Post-game show coming up after a break.